All right. Good evening, Broken Horn Radio family. This is Cody coming back at you. Shane still busy and can't be here, but the show must go on, right? So we're joined here by our good friend Gary Snyder, running for Arizona State Senate. Gary, how you doing tonight?
Good evening. How you doing, Cody? Thank you once again, Broken Horn Radio, for having me back on.
Absolutely. Anytime, you know that. So tonight I kind of wanted to, I gave you a ring and asked you to come on tonight because we've been seeing some craziness out at the border from your social media platforms, and I kind of just wanted you to give the viewers kind of an update on what you're seeing, what's going on down there in southern Yuma County and at the border. What's going on?
Well, like I said, I started an initiative, border cleanup, which you've been a couple times to. And during those times, we've seen numerous immigrants just out of the blue, nothing special, nothing unique. They weren't scared. They all came from different countries: Cuba, Venezuela, Haiti, Chile, Brazil. I mean, you name it. They're coming from all the Latin America countries. We found one from Russia actually today, new paperwork.
Really?
Today I took another person down there to look at it. While we're down there, two families came up. Now they're from Colombia. So they were just actually at Del Rio about 2 weeks ago. Now they're migrating towards our small area, Yuma County. And you're gonna understand, they've never been in Mexico. So all of a sudden from Del Rio, Texas, that they just got shipped back, now they're going into Baja California, which is Algodones, which is Morales Dam. How do you get to a place that you never touch soil or know anything about it? It's not on the top list. Sounds like organized to me.
Right, absolutely.
So luckily I speak Spanish. My mom's from Mexico. So I have the opportunity, we are Christian, we are Republican conservatives, but if we can't do nothing about it, at least find out where they're coming from, how they're coming here, who's telling them, where they're getting the money, and just see exactly information, because that information we learn from. So between all these variations of countries that came, they all have the same thing in common. They're all hard workers that they can't make no money in their own countries, but yet they can fly 5 or 6 family members on the airplanes from their respected countries, which averages between $4,000 to $8,000 just on flights. And then they take either another flight or bus and hotel and food. So an average family, we'll just say from Ecuador or from Honduras, is spending an average between $10,000 to $16,000 on a family of 4. That's just average. That doesn't include the fees that we're seeing. See, here we're thinking about the fees of the coyote fees or the cartel fees, but no, it's even worse. We're seeing documents like today. I found a lot of documents from the Mexican immigration, and they're all stamped in Sinaloa. Sinaloa is halfway down Mexico on the west coast of the nation, not east coast where they're coming in. They're going all the way to the opposite side, which makes no sense. You go down and then you come towards us. You don't go across Mexico and then go down. So what we're seeing is they're getting stamped from the same gentleman saying that they're letting them in provisionally because of humanitarian need, but yet they're telling us that they're paying $300, which we know this is false, because as a U.S. citizen going deeper into Mexico, we pay a fee of $25. That's just an immigration fee for us to be able to have a permit.
Right.
So they're charging them $300 for a humanitarian fee to come down here. So you can only imagine why Mexico isn't stopping these groups, because they're making hand over fist money.
Right.
Now today we encountered 2 groups. We encountered 2 Colombian groups separate. One was running across the border, and they're already basically coming up the driveway already in U.S. soil. And I told them, what's going on? What's going on? In Spanish. Why are you running? You're already in the United States. You're good.
Right.
The guy was on the phone telling them, well, I'm here. What do I do? Do I still keep running, or what do I do? And we heard in the background while he was talking, the guy said, just wait for the police. Just wait for police. They'll pick you up and then they'll take you. So when I heard that, I said, hey, if you're going to turn yourself in asylum, you have to sit right there. Border Patrol or immigration or sheriff or police officer will be there soon. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So they sat down, but look it, they had good Nike clothes on, Nike shoes, brand new Adidas backpack, the works. There was nothing that you said asylum. The next group comes up. It's a smaller group, and they were very talkative. They were relaxed, not a problem. Border Patrol was already there. They said, thank you, brother, in Spanish. And then they just went to the Border Patrol and just walked inside.
Right.
It's very discouraging for our Border Patrol because now they become Ubers without a five-point star rating.
Right. Right. My thing is, here's my question. You said that these people are coming over and they're paying all this money. That, you said thousands of dollars.
Correct.
A lot of them, and I've been out there when you've talked to some of them, a lot of them are saying that one of the reasons why they're coming to America is they can't find work in their country. If they can't find work, how are they getting all this money?
Exactly. There was a family a few days ago that said, I'm a hard worker. I own my own business. I'm making $2 a week in Venezuela. $2 a week in Venezuela. I'm like, hold up, this is wrong. The wife's a stylist. I'm like, okay. But from there, today I saw two kids, 14 and 15-year-old, coming across, crying, literally crying, running across. We didn't notice them until at the end because we heard the noise when he was almost there. They were telling me that their parents were abducted right at that dam because they didn't pay the tariff to come across from Mexico to the United States. So they literally got abducted. Now, did we see them get abducted? No, I did not see with my eyes nor the person with me, but we're only going off the words of the kids that they're running, they were crying, their eyes did look like this. Now, if it's true, then that's a lot of problems. They're getting abducted just right in front of them. Now, if it's not true, the kids did have in their pocket a number for a family member in Dallas, Texas. So what we're looking at right now, everyone that I've seen, anyone that's from Haiti and Venezuela, they're all going to Chicago or New York. People from Colombia and from Ecuador and Honduras, we see that they're going to Dallas, Texas.
Really?
Really, that's what we've been seeing over here. Now in San Luis, which is a whole different area, they're going from Bogota and Brazil, what we saw, remember? And they're all saying, we're going to New Jersey. No one's saying we're going to California. No one's saying we're going to Washington State. No one's saying, very few are saying to Chicago. Everyone is going all the way to the East Coast, which makes you think, well, if you live in Cuba, why wouldn't you go through Florida? Why would you travel all the way across the whole side of the nation of Mexico to get into Florida?
Right.
Or Ecuador or Chile? It makes no sense. If you're coming down Mexico City, why would you cross Texas to get to Florida? Right? Because they know Texas is not going to take it. They stop that right now. So the migration is coming to Yuma, Arizona. We will be ground zero. Now, do we have enough law enforcement? Do we have enough Border Patrol, immigration? No. We need our Second Amendment rights taken care of. And luckily, we're in Arizona where that's important. We have to actually step up and help our own border. Within 75 feet is federal, but after 75 feet, it is state and local land, which is our own sovereign rules. So we need to step up. Am I saying in any way lethal force? No, but we have to be there to take care of our own family and neighbors within our communities. That is number one. A prime example just happened today. While I was at the border in Morales Dam, I heard Border Patrol say, hey, we just had 150 people run across the commercial port of San Luis, Arizona into housing development.
Wait, that was 150 people?
150 people is what I heard off the Border Patrol radio.
Wow.
And then shortly after, police put out there saying, hey, we're assisting Border Patrol. When I say shortly after, was like 4 hours later. This happened at 7:30 in the morning during the time when children go to school. So what's amazing, the police didn't put it out until 4 hours later. I'm not saying in any way the police is trying to not scare people or alert them, but they need to do their job. Once they find out they crossed, they need to let people know, because 4 hours later, you know what? If I knew right now in 30 minutes, I'm gonna lock my doors and be ready to go, right?
Right. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
if you don't alert no one, that's safety precaution.
And is the mayor doing anything about this?
The mayor, the city council, you never see them. And I put a post on there and shot them out saying, are you going to advocate for the safety of our communities? Because coming through San Luis goes into Somerton, goes into Gadsden, goes into Yuma County, goes into the foothills, and goes inward towards Arizona. This is the main pillar to put a stop. And he is the mayor. Everyone's like, oh, but he's not federal government. Yes, and within 75 feet is a federal government. Outside past the 75 feet into the city, then now they're trespassing into our cities and our state, which police officers, sheriffs can arrest them for trespassing.
Absolutely.
But if you don't have a backbone and you're playing these political games, it's not going to help this community in any way. Now, I understand there's humanitarian needs. Well, what I've seen and what you've seen and what a lot of people seen is people that are looking for asylum, real or not real, they turn themselves in. They don't run because they have nothing to hide. They're not smuggling, but yet they're coming in as asylum. The people that are runners are people that are criminals or trying to smuggle something into the United States. They don't want to be caught. They don't want to be processed. Why? Because they might have criminal records. They might be smuggling stuff. We don't know. It could be cartel coming in to look for a hit and then go back. We don't know. But the unclarity of we don't know is the worst part. Just think about 9/11. I brought a lady down, Stacy Goodman. I brought her yesterday, first responders. She talked about 9/11 and terrorist attacks and stuff like that. I took her to the border yesterday. She felt more scared for her life now than when she was on 9/11 for the 23 days on the pile at ground zero. Why? Because the difference is there were attacks from the height, not attacks documented between these borders. They're open borders. She said, literally, if hundreds of cartel came through, do we have the manpower to cover that? No, because they got AKs, they got grenades. I mean, just look. What you see on the TV and the movies is not fake. It's real stuff.
Correct. And, again, what you just talked about, how you're talking to these people and they're telling you where they're going, Dallas, New Jersey, they're going to the East Coast. Again, a lot of people in America think, they just come to the border and they come into America, then they stop, right? Well, every town's a border town, right? They disperse, they go everywhere. This is an American issue, not an Arizona issue, not a Mexico issue, Texas issue.
And the far right, or the ones that think they're far right, just really don't know. They use a humanitarian or you're racist or welcoming. Okay, I understand. We can welcome in some manner, but at a safe distance. Right. We have to be safe first so they can be safe.
Absolutely.
If we're not safe, they're not safe. That's common sense. Why would they leave a communist country to come into the United States, which is becoming communist? Well, it makes no sense, right?
Right.
I mean, so for example, like I was talking already about the San Luis. So all them people ran, caught on camera from a residential address. You see runners between 7 and 12 people running. And this looks like youth. I'm not saying 10-year-old, 12-year-old. I'm looking 18 to 24, 25, all with hoodies running through. And then you can see in the background, the Border Patrol looking for them.
Yes.
Tell me, if you're looking for asylum, then all you know is you just got to cross the border, turn yourself in like an Uber, and you automatically get documented. And if you say a family member lives in whatever state, you get sent on the bus or on a plane. And there you go. Why would you run away? And why would you run through the commercial port?
Well,
if you have nothing to hide, or if you're not looking for asylum.
Yeah.
Those are questions that need to be asked. And these questions start with your local city council, your local mayor, and most importantly, your police chief. They have to put the pressure on the port director about the security of our city. Yes, they are federal, and right now they're getting handcuffed by Mr. Biden. But once they come into that 75 feet, that is city and state ordinances. Now, if they're not willing to prosecute or take seriousness of this issue, then all is lost. Our residents here in these communities should fear for their life. And what's going to trigger would be a civil war, because pretty soon it's going to come. They don't know how Arizona is. People here are ready to go.
Well, somebody has to protect American
Be
citizens.
that way, but it is our elected officials locally that are not willing to step up for the people. They're willing to play politics. They're willing to play, I'll turn my head as long as you take care of me this next 2022 political career.
Right. Well, somebody's got to take care of Americans. You know, somebody's got to look out for Americans. That's the whole MAGA movement, right?
Yep.
Look out for Americans first. You know, when I watched that video today, Gary, of these illegal immigrants running through residential areas, I mean, I live in Yuma, right up the road. That
Right.
very well could have been my neighborhood.
Well,
I mean,
you live in Foothills. In the back of Foothills, there's always people getting caught right there.
right. So
You're talking about they're crossing 20 miles. How are they getting 20 miles from the border to you guys unseen?
somebody's got to protect American citizens.
So, and when we talk about our community, it's very important. People don't understand nationwide that we're the last standing pillar of the United States. Everyone is coming through us and getting sent East Coast. Correction? Everyone is coming through us. And pretty soon we'll have all the migration down by our area. Our fear here is not are we going to be overturned, but what's going to happen with all our local residents who use their Second Amendment. Will they be prosecuted because they're standing up for our freedoms and our safety? Or will they actually be backed by our people? Just for example, you know, the lawyers that have their guns on their lawn and people went there and they put them in jail, remember?
Yes.
Okay, so same exact reason.
Yeah, that's a very good point and a very good question. I mean, at some point, somebody's got to protect the American citizens. And
I mean, I got my family. I got a 15-month-old baby. I got a 12-year-old son. And to be honest, I fear for their future.
Absolutely.
I fear for their future. That's why I decided to run, because what it is, the opportunity with me, I speak Spanish. My mom's from Mexico. My dad's from here. He was military. And he taught me, number one, family, friends, and neighbors always come first. There's no color involved. There's no racism involved. There's take care of your family, friends, and neighbors first. Always believe in a religion. Regardless of what your religion is, make sure you believe it. And don't let anyone tell you what to do. As long as you're doing it for safety, for the family, for your religion, and most importantly, to keep everyone safe in your community. Now, that's what the United States was founded on choices.
Absolutely.
I think we need to go back to education and educate people what the choices are here. Now, we understand everyone wants freedom in their own way, their own liberties, their own, equality, which, CRT and all that. Well, let's see. Martin Luther King, bless his soul, would be outraged right now with what's going on. He didn't fight for what's going on. He fought for the opportunity for everyone to be equal in the workplace and in the opportunity to talk, which that has been done.
Absolutely.
Everyone's, oh, you're Republican, you're racist. I'm like, if you only knew, I lived in Mexico, I went to India. I mean, I'm cultured nationwide. I'm not even close to racist. And I have my own people, my Latin descent, telling me I'm racist because I was with Trump for Latinos for Trump. And I said, you know what? This is a choice. That's why there's left and right. And that's good. That's what America's about. We don't have to have the same values, but at the end of the day, you can bet your ass I'm going to be taking care of your back.
Absolutely.
And people do not understand that. They look at it, okay. But once they saw I started sticking up for them when their own party line never helped them out for 1 cent, but yet I'm there helping them out. And not even because of party, I'm doing it because that's my type of person. I was brought up right. Take
Right.
care of friends and family and your community without expecting any thank you back.
Absolutely. And I want to ask you, there's a caravan right now coming with thousands and thousands of immigrants. I know you know this. The news is saying that they're going to be coming to Texas, but is it your opinion that they may not all be going to Texas, or that they
okay,
may,
so this is two questions that the media never asked. One, how do they have so much information? Is one. Two, all these reporters that are running and showing these videos, how are they surfacing so quick if they didn't supposedly know? So obviously this is organized. It could be organized from over there. It sounds more like organization from the United States from the left side, Soros. Don't you remember back in the day before Biden was even chosen on the machine? Not the ballot, but the machine, right? Chose him?
Right.
Don't you remember the first caravan had Biden t-shirts? Which he didn't even have Biden t-shirts in the United States yet.
Yeah.
How's that happen?
Yeah.
And it's the same design.
Yeah.
That's a miraculous.
Well, Soros has got deep pockets, you know that.
Exactly. I mean, we can say it's conspiracy, which is just common sense.
Yes.
We'll say we don't use him as a scapegoat for, we'll say a rally. We'll say a free rally for the Pope. We'll just use the Pope. How many people can the Pope pull?
I would assume a lot.
Okay, we'll say 60, 80,000, right? I mean, when I was in Rome, when he first came out, there's about 30,000 people, and they could fit about 100,000. All right. Yeah. So when you talk about caravans of 180,000 people, you gotta think one person got together. How long do you think it took Martin Luther King to create the movement? Now you're talking about back to back movements. No, this takes money. It takes planning. Think about it. A lot of these people supposedly are from little ranch towns that don't have no cell phones, have no internet. How do they know?
Yeah. How does it get organized?
It takes a lot of money, and it takes a lot of time to plan. We know this.
Yeah.
We know this.
You're absolutely right.
And then you throw in the COVID. I mean, have you got COVID every time, Cody?
No.
Okay, so I had COVID and I was tested positive, and I was like, okay, that's weird. I feel good. All right. So I went to test myself again. Negative. Went again. Negative. Went again. Negative. Well, why would one be positive and three negatives? Well, come to find out, this same clinic locally, well, 50% of theirs were false negatives. But yet they were charging people $300 per test for free from the federal government. On top of that, they ask you, do you have your insurance? Can you please provide it? If you provide it, they bill their insurance companies too $300. So imagine $600 a pop. Yeah. And they were doing it 24/7 for a year. Well, imagine that. All that money that came in, well, they built themselves a brand new hospital here in San Luis, Arizona. And you go there, there's no one even there. There's no one in this hospital. 0 people. And they're not even open on the weekends. And it's supposed to be a 24/7 place. Right. And then you say, okay, well, I'm going to go check if I have COVID. They say, oh, not here. Go to our clinics because we don't have the capability of testing for COVID here. So this, like I said, everyone took advantage of this extra money that's coming through COVID. And it's sad to say, we don't have a Republican Party. We don't have a Democrat Party. We don't have a Libertarian Party. What we have is the elitist and common folk like us that are good to our soul, good Christian or religious people that still believe honesty is important.
Absolutely.
And what is the biggest issue that the Bible teaches us? The biggest sin that we can commit. The biggest sin is pride. Pride will kill you, right?
Absolutely.
So pride, that's why we always say, we apologize, we do our communion, we do all that because we're not perfect. We know this. But when you can't even admit that you messed up, you made a mistake, that's an issue. That's a red flag right there.
Absolutely.
And when these people, you show them exactly the lies and the steals that they've done, they look at you and be like, that's fake. And it can be documented and shown in a video where they're doing all this illegal stuff, like example, ballot harvesting, and they'll still deny it. And their minion will follow them. And they'll be like, that's not me. And it says the name right there, blah, blah, blah. And they'll still not believe because mentally they don't want the truth. They want to be lied to. And that's what you call the sheep.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm sorry to say, I work with both sides that are conservatives. Anyone that wants to better our communities, our state, and our life, I work for both sides. I am a Republican, I am conservative, but it takes two sides to work together to work better for our communities. Because it comes down to, if you notice in the news from the swamp, congratulations, Biden has worked on the great good deal of now $1.5 trillion. Almost 100% vote on the Democratic side. Why don't they ever mention and the Republican side? I mean, all they do is just asking one side. At least Trump worked with both sides.
We tried to, yeah.
Tried to, but he got the opportunity to work with both sides.
Right.
Now, if they didn't want to do it, they didn't want to do it. That's just common sense. But you never saw in the news it's only one side of a party line.
Right.
Now, like I said, I know this was supposed to be short, but you know what? When we talk about what's going on, you know, it's my time to be able to talk. I met with a gentleman that his name is James Kilser. He's our local retired Marine, but you never retired, as we say, Cody and the Marines. Yeah. And he did something heroic. Did he wait for what he was going to get after the heroic, or did he realize he was going to be on camera and be nationwide icon? No, he didn't. He just did it because he's an old good old boy, Trump loving, country loving, cussing loving, good human being.
Right.
He's a dad. He has a child, a young child, and a wife. And all he thought about is taking care of what's done. Not even a second, not 2 seconds. It's common sense. What he was trained was ingrained. After that, he can make it, make some laughs and stuff like that. But he knows he did something that was heroic. Now we go to the heroic part. Law enforcement, military. There are everyday heroes, unsung, day in and day out. They are our heroes every day to make sure we have our liberties, our freedom, our lifestyle. And it doesn't start from the new ones right now. It starts from back in the day, the ones that given their lives. So why we talk about this gentleman, James Kilser? Because we needed a positive icon that's down to earth, genuine, Trump hat, let's go Brandon t-shirt. That was a positive for us. And where were the left side? And where were the right side? You can see the difference. They worried about that 14-year-old kid that had a gun loaded, pointing at the cashier of the Chevron here in Yuma, Arizona, more than the gentleman that saved the cashier's life and possibly himself's life. You don't even know what happened if the guy would have robbed him, shot those guys, and outside there's other cars and shot people outside as well. What would they say? They would say, oh, where's our security? Where's the law enforcement? They look for any negativity to use against us.
Absolutely.
So in closing, heroes don't just have to stop a plan. See something, call something, do something. That's what's important. Nothing like these videos that they're streaming live in New York in the train section while they're raping this female. Where's the humanity? Where's the backbone? Where's the 911 calls? I mean, you're recording this instead of getting an axe. There's an axe down there because there's a train. They have that for fires and opening doors. Where is the heroism of the United States.
For those
We
of
need to
you
get
that
back
don't know
to
that,
our basics.
for those of you that don't know what he's talking about, New York City on the subway, a woman was raped. It took 45 minutes long, correct, Gary?
Yes, 45 minutes.
And the people stood there and videotaped it, didn't stop it. I mean, you can say they should have called 911. I think they should have put the phone down and put a beating on this man who was
Because
committing.
there was more people than just two of them.
Right, yeah. But that's what Gary's talking about. Where is the people that stood up? You know, where's the James Kilsers in that scenario? You know. So, and you're right. It's all about standing up for what's right, standing up and doing something, protecting your community, and you know.
It all starts from holding each other accountable. That's
Absolutely.
the biggest issue in our nation. Holding each other accountable. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. Am I the best? No, I'm not. I'm learning as I go, but I can tell you I have heart. And I'm
Absolutely.
willing to trade my life for my family and my friends.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what it takes for anyone to stick up. I don't care if you're a candidate, you're not a candidate. That's what regular people, as a United States citizen, that's where our foundation is. This is our civic duty.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just can't believe what's going on. Please do continue. I know you're going to continue to go down there at the border, and you're going to continue to put this on social media because they try to hide it. You know, there's Democrats here in Southern Arizona that like to say that the border is not a crisis, right? But you continue to go down there, videotape it, put stuff online, and that's important because people need to see this. Because as well as I do, we can hear about it all day, and everyone knows that the border's bad. But until you go down and see it, you actually see the people coming across. It changes your whole mindset on the whole thing. So it's important what you're doing down there, and videotaping it and showing it's important. And so thank you for doing that.
Well, like I said, it's not just videotaping. I mean, you see any candidate coming down, just do a little video, people crossing, but they don't have that extra drive, asking them where they come from, asking them what they spent, how was their journey, who they talked to, who they might pay. Obviously stuff like that is sometimes a no-no because you never know who's on the other side. And to be honest, they can come over here and to be honest, threaten my life.
Yeah.
But those questions need to be asked.
Yes, I agree.
We need to understand what's going on, why it's going on, and we need to hold accountable our local electives in every aspect, statewide, because our federal, unfortunately, they can't do nothing. They're handcuffed at the border. They're handcuffed at their cars. So what happens? We as US regular citizens need to step up and empower our sheriffs, our police stations, and anyone that's volunteers, but most importantly, us as citizens need to step up because once they're past that 75 feet, it's a whole different ball game. Now we're part of the Arizona, and that's our job to take care of our borders.
Absolutely. And I also
I do
go ahead.
Definitely want to say if they come over, if they're compliant, if they're there to sit down, don't yell at them like any of the left side or the right side and say, oh, they're mad, they're yelling, they got the guns on. No, try to understand and listen and get some information because at the end of the day, they're already here.
Right.
For us to learn and for us to evolve, we need to understand where it's coming from, what's happening, and how to get here. If we can find out, hey, I have another group of 40 coming in a few days. Well, you know what? We make sure in a few days we're there.
Right.
Understand?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we have the we could be mad, we could be furious, but they're already here.
Right.
We need to find out what drives and who's doing this. Because At the end of the day, you take the head off the snake, a lot of them don't have that money. Yeah. You're not talking about $50, you're not talking about $500, you're talking about thousands of dollars that they have to pay them. And then on top of that, you guarantee they're working it off wherever they're going.
Yeah. Not to mention today, you saw that the federal government's going to be giving them $450,000 per
Yeah, per person.
per
That only
person.
makes me think, hey, I just want to run to Mexico and say I'm from
That's what I'm saying.
Caracas, Venezuela, Cuba.
That's
I
what I'm
want to
saying.
get $450,000 too.
That's what I'm
But at
saying.
the end of the day, I wouldn't do it. You know why? Because I have heart, I have integrity, and most importantly, that's your money, my money, everyone else's money that we working hard to
Yes,
barely even win, especially right now where the economy is, to be paying someone out like that.
absolutely.
So I know
Absolutely.
this will be shared in all the social media, all the groups in the conservative group and other groups that could be on both sides. It doesn't matter. Right here is not party line. Right now is our United States. We are together. Yes, this is a nation, the best nation in the world, that we have a lot of different cultures. But we can guarantee that all of us come together and taking care of each other like 9/11 happened. We need that unit together now. We need to be united.
Agreed. And I do want to make a plug though. I want to point this out that you've done a great job. You head up the volunteer events where we go down to the border and clean up the trash that blows up against the border wall. I think that's awesome. I've gone both times you've done it. It's an awesome time. So I do want to let people know that you were responsible for that happening, and that's awesome. And like you said, a lot of candidates aren't doing that. They're not coming down here and getting down on their hands and knees and sifting through dirt and picking up trash. You're out there with us, and I think that's awesome. And I wanted to thank you for doing that.
Well, I appreciate it, Cody, but let's I know I am a candidate, but before the candidate, I did this because this is what I do. I
Right.
give back to the community, and to me, importantly, right now, our border patrol immigration is discouraged, but our community is seeing a lot of trash going into the canals, going into our agriculture. Right now, we're getting ready for the agriculture season. Now, people don't know, from the East Coast, 70% of our lettuce and crops go and feed New Jersey, the state of New York. So if our
Right.
crops are poisoned by this trash coming from the other side, they don't understand. We're the ones that feed them,
Right.
and we're ground zero. So
Right.
this is why I step up. Now, do we have water and food for ourselves? Yes, we do. And if we have extra, of course we're going to give to them, because we don't want them to suffer.
Right.
I'm sorry to say, yes, we know they entered illegally. Are we happy? No, but we are human,
They're human
and
beings.
we're there to give them the opportunity. If we have the food, we have the water, of course, we'll share with our families and friends.
Absolutely.
That's number one, which everyone thinks, oh, he's Republican. Oh, we don't care about humanity.
Yeah.
They're racist. Blah, blah. You know what? I don't believe that. We're Christian people, we're religious people, and we care. Now, obviously, if they're coming out as a criminal, of course, no, we're not gonna give them no water, no food.
Right. Absolutely. And just want to say thanks for. I know it's super late tonight, but thanks for
Not a
coming on.
problem. It needs to be done. It needs to be told. The truth needs to be
Absolutely.
out there, not censored, but what we're really living. You might be living in Montana, you might be living in Wisconsin. I'm sorry to say, right now, a lot of them are getting shipped down to your areas too. And why? Because they're rural areas where people will forget, people won't know and won't notice, but yet it'll come when your guys' financials start dropping down because they're getting the money and you guys are barely surviving. And when it comes to voting, well, we already know. It's not like they're giving them, okay, here you go. They're giving them not resident cards, they're giving them voting cards already.
Driver's license in some states.
Exactly. Driver's license, whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
Now, my next cleanup is November 13th. We will re-clean again Morales Dam in Yuma. We try to do it. So that's a month. That's a month. So when we first started, that was 4 weeks ago. Now it'll be a month totally. So you can imagine in a month how much debris and trash that was there now. I went today in the morning, and it's a little less than the first time, but there is a lot of trash.
Okay. And I will be there because I believe in what you're doing, and it's good for the community. Yes, absolutely, 100%. And I just want to go ahead and plug yourself. I know you're running for Arizona State Senate. So how can people reach you on your socials? Your where they can find your website and on Twitter.
My Facebook is Gary Snyder for state senate. My website is Snyder, the number 4 in Arizona spelled out, .com. So Snyder4Arizona.com. I use a lot of my business social media, but to be honest, I go off my personal media because you need to know who I am. And you can see who I am from 7 years before when Facebook started up to now. Now, unless I get cut off or Facebook gel, you have everything you want to see. Baseball player, business, you see my life. You can't say I'm fake. You can't say, hey, where's he getting this money? You can see, like, a lot of people are asking me from the other side, where do you work? Where do you work? Does it matter where I work? I'm financially set. I'm not rich, but I worked hard for my money. I didn't steal.
Right.
I didn't take bribes. I'm not running for office to make money. You know how much a state senator makes? $24,000. That's less than McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah, 24,000 is nothing. Well, you understand why these state senators are taking these huge bribes from these big PACs once they're in office. I'm trying to say I don't need that money.
Right.
I care about my community. My goal is to do my 3 terms of Senate and then come down here back to my community, be county supervisor. And when I'm done with that, be the mayor of my city and make sure they're taken care of. Absolutely. Because I want to be here with my family when they grow up and say, this is what I did from the outside in.
Absolutely. And if we don't start protecting it now from a flood of illegal immigrants, there's not going to be no city left. So
there's not going to be a country.
Right. So, or at least a country that's that's any recognizable to what we thought our country was. So again, thank you. And in closing, go out and support Gary Snyder, please. We need patriots like him in office, period. And like you said, he's not doing it for the money. The money's not great to begin with. He's doing it because his heart's in the right spot. His heart's in the right place. His mind's in the right place. And please show these videos that we're showing of the border to everyone you can. Share it far and wide. Unfortunately, it's the truth. People don't know. Some people don't know out of their own ignorance or just because they're more worried about Monday Night Football and the Monday PTA meeting and whatnot. They don't care about what's happening down here, but it's affecting everywhere. They're not staying in Yuma. They're going out, and people need to see what's happening. People need to see the videos of these people coming across. People need to see the paraphernalia, the documents that Gary is collecting, just going down there to pick up trash. He's picking up these documents proving the money that's involved, the travel, how far they're coming. It's mind blowing, and people need to see it. So please, if you're watching this, share the videos that we share on Broken Horn. Go find Gary on his socials, and he's always continuously posting important stuff. Go find him on social media and share what he's posting as well. So Gary, it's always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
It's always a pleasure to be on Broken Horn right now, buddy. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate your service. Stay strong. If the military says they're gonna kick you out or you're unfit because of the jab, that's all right. God will bless you, and I'm definitely looking to keeping you around, buddy.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for everybody that tuned in tonight, and we'll catch you.
Have a good night, and please share these videos because it's important. You might not think it is, but it is important to people.
Absolutely. And with that, thank you all, and have a good night, and be safe, be brave, and be free.